Okay, here's my most recent clock acquisition, which arrived yesterday. This is a Russian Mantel clock made by a company called Vladimir, sometime in the late 50s or the early 60s. It has a typical Soviet brick-shaped case, which I quite like. I love boxy designs, so I guess this is the clock for me. The clock runs for either 7 or 14 days on a full winding. I haven't tested it yet. And it strikes on the hour and on the half hour with bim bam on 4 chime rods. It has a 2x2 bim bam, which I'll demonstrate right now. I've been searching for one of these clocks since the day I discovered they exist. I just fell in love with the striking and with the design, and yeah, I was feeling kind of hopeless due to the fact that I just haven't seen any of these for sale, like ever, in my region. Even though we have quite a lot of Soviet clocks over here, since my country used to be part of the communist bloc. And eventually, on Tuesday I believe, I was yet again in a call with my girlfriend, late at night, and I found this clock. And it was insanely cheap. So I was like, oh damn, I guess it's my lucky day today. So even though I told myself that I wasn't going to buy anything new for the time being, I just couldn't resist it, so here it is. My own Vladimir. Here is the original key that the clock came with. It's really small compared to a standard size clock key. And it's also really lightweighted. I assume it's made of aluminum or something, to reduce production costs. It does do the job though. This clock does have a tiny bit of a design flaw, which I don't know if it's present on other Vladimir clocks, but on this one it is. So you might have noticed that when I chimed it, I didn't close the bezel all the way through, and that's because I can't. Why is that? Because the central arbor is hitting the glass. And I cannot close it further than this. You can see that there is quite a lot of space between the case and the bezel. So, yeah. I don't know whether that's a fabrication defect or simply the way this clock was designed to be made, but oh well, I guess that's just the way it is. So I can only close the bezel slightly like this, and of course I can no longer do that now. But yeah, you can only slightly close it so that the arbor doesn't touch the glass. Here's the back side of the clock. Here we have a large wooden hinged door. And behind it is the small striking movement. As you can tell, this clock is wound from the back. This is the arbor for the time side. This is the arbor for the for the strike side. And this third arbor in here is for setting the time. So yeah, you can set the time on this clock both from the front and from the back. Yeah, very sorry, I cannot speak properly today, which is nothing new. On the back of the door we have this original label with some Russian text on it. I'll try to put a rough translation on the screen in editing. So yeah, there's that. And I might as well share a tiny piece of info that I found about the Vladimir Clock Company. This company was founded in 1933 and it started producing mechanical clocks in 1947 under the names of Vladimir and Vesna. So that explains why this movement is almost identical to one which you may find in a Vesna clock. And eventually clock production ceased in 1998. And here's a proper look at the Vladimir logo, which is present on the dial. Okay, and now I'll let you take a look at some clips which I recorded yesterday when I took the movement out of this clock. And here's the movement inside the Vladimir Mantel clock. There is one thing which differentiates it from the same version of this movement used in Vesna clocks, and that is the fact that the platform escapement is mounted onto the back of the front plate. And if you're familiar with Vesna movements, you might know that the platforms are mounted onto the back plate. That is not the case in here. I have no idea why they chose to do this, but oh well. So yeah, this is just a normal striking movement made in the USSR in like the late 50s or the early 60s. There are the 4 hammers. Here on the front plate we have oh my gosh, I can't speak. The rack and snail striking system. Here is a top view. And I'll let you take a look at that escapement again. There are 11 jewels in this platform lever escapement. Okay, and now I'll let you see the striking train in action. Incredible! One sec. Let's try that again. And I might as well let you have a proper back view of this. This clock would normally be staying here, but since it is a new addition and I still need to test its timekeeping abilities, it will be staying in here for a while. And yeah, now you might be wondering where the Kinsley Westminster Mantel clock went. I would normally tell you that I sold it and it's now gone as a prank. But instead, I'll just tell you that I sold it and it's now gone, also as a prank. So yeah, I just moved it over to my clock room. And yeah, that's kind of it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I was Luca, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.